Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? Let me know if y'all can hear me, if the sound is all right. So, as I was saying, uh, if y'all can hear me, let me know. And we're going to do the opening starting now. Get a head start for Diana. All right, start with the commercials and proceed with the invocation.
Peace family, I wanted to show you some of these great quality t-shirts that were designed by the brother Shaka. The I Am t-shirts. I am a generator, an operator, and a destroyer. Great quality t-shirts, 100% cotton. If you like one of these t-shirts, reach out to the brother Shaka at N as in Nancy, F as in Frank, N as in Nancy, Shaka at gmail.com. That's NFN Shaka at gmail.com. Thank you. Have a beautiful day.
Here it is, family. The best soup in Brooklyn. Prepared meticulously, exclusively by the world famous Coconut Rob. Coconut Rob, what do you have in this delicious
what did I do?
Conundrum? this awesome feast of nutritious delight. Tell us what you hooked it up with.
It's a combination of a couple of things, actually.
Couple? Looks like
Yeah.
a whole collage.
Nah, well, the actual base of it is the great northern beans, great northern white beans, and then we did it with a whole, as you would say, a conundrum of vegetables. All right, the malanga cocoa, which I like, of course. It's a root vegetable, but it's low in starch and rich in vitamin B2. So we use that and let that kind of come to a boil in the water, and then that thickens the broth. Wow. Then we use the borrow bananas, butternut squash noodles. Also, we use zucchini noodles, bell peppers, red bell peppers, green bell peppers, yellow bell peppers. And in this one in particular, we brought some both East African and West African seasonings. We used the East African seasoning called a shiro, which is usually used with like miso wet and lentils and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's added like a little bit of spice. And then we use the Ghanaian seasoning in there that's called shitsu, or shitu, actually. It's like a red bean.
Lord have
But
mercy.
this one is all vegan, of course. It's got a nice little spice to it.
Yeah, and
So-
those who are sensitive to salt, is there any salt in here?
Absolutely no salt. at
No
all.
salt.
We don't use any salt.
What days are you here?
Well, today I'm here Tuesday. Tomorrow I'll be here too, but the soup days are principally Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays. But, of course, the public demands, I'm going to probably make a small one also tomorrow as well.
Excellent. And
look good?
yeah, man. What's the contact number?
Oh, 347-243-1678. And, of course, you know I'm here at Nicholas, Brooklyn.
1396 Fulton
1396
Street
Fulton
in Brooklyn,
Street.
between New York and Brooklyn Avenue. God
Absolutely.
bless the cook and the time it took.
The toppings are arugula, avocados, a mango chutney, a cucumber chutney, and culantro, or what they call shadow benny. Baby spinach and baby arugula.
Excellent. Yummy, yummy for your tummy.
Yeah, speaking of yummy, yummy for your tummy, family, I just posted a video of my sisters cooking. Hey, Bliss. Hey, Diana. And the question, the challenging question was, do modern women know how to cook? Because they'd be pretty, but after the pretty part's over, do they know how to burn in the kitchen? So, you know, it started some controversy, and I'm hearing comments and hilarious shares of photos. Like some sisters are like, yeah, oh yeah, I know how to burn in the kitchen. So going into the holiday season, hot buttered rolls, candy yams, black-eyed peas, collard greens is on the call. And then you have also the vegetarian grandmasters. So special shout out to Mama Santiwa, sent me a beautiful photo of some cooking. So maybe if Diana gives me permission, I'll post some pretty pictures of some nicely prepared food. Because, both of these ladies look pretty, but I wonder if they know how to boil water. You know how to boil water, Bliss?
Of course. I know how to cook. I know how to. My husband was skinny when he married me. And then when I got through with him, he was plump and juicy.
Yeah. You know what they say? The way to a man's heart is through his stomach. And a lot of these youngins out here, somebody dropped the ball because all they know how to do is, listen, I heard one sister tell brother, you can have anything you want for dinner as long as you order it. Oh. Needless to say, they ain't together no more. But let's go ahead with the openings. Yeah, we needed that one, Miss Bliss, because that was a beautiful video you did. Because the world's gone cray cray all day. We gotta pump that more often. So, with that being said, let's move on with the commercials. Family, I am here with a magical moment of young musicians, and this is Kim, Sister Kim, and she has a message about investing into the future musicians of our community. Sister Kim, tell us what you got here.
Hi, everyone. Kim, proud parent of children at the Big Apple Leadership Academy for the Arts. We teach HBCU high-stepping marching band to our kids from age 5 and up. It is a free after-school program, tuitionless, and it's open to all. Our kids are amazing. If you can, jump on our website. We're looking for support, donations. Our kids need new instruments so that they can high step on. Our website is www.balaa.org, BALAA.org. And I appreciate the time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And so, family, listen up close. We're talking about investing in the artists of tomorrow. By investing in them, if you have a little expendable change to invest in the youth, the genius, this is the opportunity. And in this description on this video will be the details of sending your donation to PayPal or Zelle or Cash App.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Okay. So thank you for your support. Our children are the future.
Remember
Right on.
to subscribe, share, and like this video. And magnets, crystals, pyramids, and remember to journey to the bliss.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I love.
Welcome to Magnets, Crystals, and Pyramids, and Journey to Bliss. Like, subscribe, and share. Thank you, and Ashe.
Putting out a call to the warrior in you, to the healer in you, the king, the queen, the magician, the lover in you, every single day.
We are called to walk in our purpose. Answer the call. Lay down your burden and anything that holds you back and take your rightful place. The battle is everywhere. It's right in your face. Let's go.
Yeah, thank you, Brother Baraka. Diana and Bliss, I met up with Brother Baraka today. We were supposed to had do a meeting in the park, but things took its own path, and we had some good conversations. So the energy is dynamic right now, and I want to Bliss to talk about that tonight. But without further ado, let's get into the program invocation real quick. I am in me. I am in Diana Pharr. I am in Miss Bliss. I am in you, the Jedi's listening to this program now and in the future. Thank you for being born. Thank you for being alive. Thank you for surviving, tucking and rolling through your adolescence. And may you, me, we, in the spirit of Ubuntu, remember what we was born to do. And that's the most important thing after our birthday. So, on this platform, hopefully, this will inspire, encourage, activate, and elevate that we all are successful collectively and individually, our life purpose. Because I am, in the ancient words, I am my brother's keeper. That is meaning, literally means me, we, Ubuntu. So we invite upon this platform our ascended master ancestors, Yahshua, Black Madonna, Mother Mary, Enoch, the Ethiopian who ascended into the heavens and became Metatron. We invite on the platform Angel of Healing, Archangel Raphael, Angel of Knowledge and Enlightenment, Archangel Uriel. We invite Buddha, Lady Buddha, Krishna, Lakshmi, Kuan Yin, Goddess of Mercy. We invite Asar, Aset. We invite Tahuti, Rata, Quetzalcoatl, White Buffalo Calf Woman, Chief Geronimo, Chief Osceola, Nat Turner, John Brown. We invite Marcus Mosiah Garvey, Prophet Noble Drew Ali. We invite Elijah Muhammad, El Haj Malik El Shabazz. We invite the ancient prophets, healers of the past and the distant future, and then the here and now. And we say with acknowledgement of gratitude, the forces of nature within us, Elegba, Oshun, Yemaya, Ologun, Oya, Ogun, Ochosi, Obatala. We acknowledge the forces of nature that live within us because the universe had a sense of humor and turned us inside out. And everything we look for external is really locked in the keys of our DNA, of our hearts. There is nothing on the outside, family. If you're looking for Allah, you will find him in your heart. If you're looking for Yahweh, he's in your heart. Olodumare, he's in your heart. Wakan Tonka Tankashila, in your heart. Holy Spirit, in your heart. Christ, in your heart. Simeon Toko, we welcome you to the show. Sheikh Amadou Bamba, Sheikh Ibrafal, we welcome you. South African Zulu Shaman, Credo Mutwa, we invite you upon the platform. All the ascended masters of Atlantis, we invite you upon the platform. Ascended masters of Lemuria, India, we invite you. Ascended masters of Orion star system, Palladian star system, Dogon star system, we invite you to do a planetary coup with the golden touch of consciousness upon the grassroots population rising up to the leadership, known and unknown, seen and unseen, human and non-human. May we all become Buddhas. May we all become enlightened. We ask that all the cross-eyed 2-strand DNA humans be turned into 24-strand gods, goddesses of eternity. And may we do this collectively. And may we always forgive ourselves most of all as we forgive all existence in this holographic reality we call life. Ashe, Mahalo, Donada, Wado, Amen, Amen. So let this show begin. And wherever you're listening from, post it in the chat so Miss Bliss can read it off as Diana Pharr
Yes.
gives us the message.
Yes. Greetings, everyone. Good evening. Good evening, Sean Harris. Shaka from Dominican Republic. How are you, my brother Shaka? Looking forward to seeing you sometime early next year. And my moving crew support team. Wow, that's a big name. So you got a moving crew? Welcome, welcome to the moving crew. Slim Diesel, how are you, Slim Diesel? You have a drink tonight, Slim Diesel? Okay, all right. So everybody, welcome, welcome, welcome. Shout out your state, your country, your city, where you're from. And I guess, are you ready to get started?
I am.
Thank you, Bliss. And Diana, you got the stage. You on the wooden stage with the microphone. Do your thing. What you want to tell us about tonight? Big Mama Diana, talk to us.
The law of gender, the seventh principle in alchemy. I need
Flow with us, Diana. We want to see your loveliness because you look like you're getting younger to us.
well, I'd like to see you in blue.
Yeah, we're gonna see it. You're gonna see it. Flow with us, only momentarily.
Alrighty, I will.
We only gonna look at you for a minute. I know you got a little shyness in you. We see you and the audience too.
Actually, I do. But gender, the seventh principle of alchemy, the law of sexuality is it's the foundation of life. And it's such a huge subject that I wanted to begin with giving your audience some resources that they can follow up with if they so choose on the things that I'm going to just touch on. All of the systems, all of the mystical systems, the cultures in antiquity, more recently, the Western mystery schools, Kabbalah, Hermetic Kabbalah, the more ancient Kabbalah, Native American cultures, African technologies, quantum physics. At its root, in this dimension, is how does the principle of gender, the principle of sexual energy operate? And the activity of this principle originates at the deepest level of life. We feel it through our longings, our sexual longings, our appetites. These are all our desire to reunite into the oneness from which we emerged. And the path to do that is to balance this energy of gender as it expresses itself at various levels of consciousness, depending upon where we are in relationship to it. So it's very, very powerful. It is an aspect of our divinity. Through that, we have the power of creativity, not just procreation, but creation in general. And all of life is imbued with this energy. When we were closer to the earth, everything that we did culturally was structured around this energy to cultivate it, to have a rapport with it as we move through our daily task. So before I talk about what that is, and why is it every time I start, I have a little symbol of beginning that's always on my desk, and oh, here it is. That people are from. This is the most familiar. People are familiar. Very, there are other symbols, but I wanted to appease the mental appetite with some follow-up material before I begin to talk about gender and what it is and why it's so important right now. It is very central to the restoration of the magic of our humanity. So I wanted to give the audience some books. One, people are probably one of the best known Taoist alchemists is Mantak Chia. Mantak Chia, are you familiar with his work? Yeah, I'm sure. I thought
Yes.
you would be. You know, he's written many, many books. His
I got one of his books right here. I don't know if this is one of them that you're referring to, though.
yes, that's a good one. I was also going to keep that up
Okay.
list so that people, I don't know if people had an opportunity to, and give them the Taoist Secrets of Love, Cultivating Male Sexual Energy.
Yes.
The Alchemy of Sexual Energy, Connecting with the Universe Within. There's another one with people whose I teach basic practice, the esoteric generic aspect of any that is the thread that moves through all disciplines. But if your personal practice is Christianity, the God Man is the classic in that area. Carrie talks about the sacred secretion, which is what we're moving into an alchemy group, working with that and drawing. Well, I'll get into that in a minute. Another Carrie, he gives the allegories in the Bible because the process of sacred secretion. Mantak Chia actually deals with something else, the micro orb, in terms of yin and yang energy, which is not quite the same thing as the sacred secretion. The sacred secretion is how through the pineal and pituitary gland they secrete into the cerebral spinal fluid, and that descends into the body through the spinal cord. But to raise it back up so that illumination takes place, it has to pass through the sacrum, the svadhisthana, the deepest truth of who you are, sacral chakra. That's what purifies that energy, that allows it to rise up again, simply being true to who we are. And of course, the heart. The heart is where Shakti and Shiva come together within ourselves. So that's the inner energy that these two pieces describe. But Carrie is referenced by other authors because he describes the symbolism. He breaks down the symbolism and the allegory as it's talked about in the Bible. In the Bible, they describe Christos as being oil, that it is that oil that the brain and the spinal cord swim in, and we sanctify it. The River of Jordan is the spine. This is the classical book that people refer to. I don't believe he's still alive, but one of his students, I believe, is the author of The God Design, and she breaks down the sacred secretion in a very beautiful way. Those of you that are not interested in purchasing a book, all of these books are available on Amazon. But her name is Carrie, and she also has a YouTube video where she breaks it down. So that, and then this book I'm not familiar with, but when I was looking on Amazon to get the author's name so that I could share them with your audience this evening, it was so pointed, I decided to include it, and that is The Science of the Sacred Secretion, the chemical, physiological, and astronomical explanation of the sacred secretion. So I can't talk about that because I'm not familiar with it. There is a I don't know what his doctorate is. He's out of Harvard. Mauro Sapatera, but he's got a bunch of stuff on YouTube where he talks about the cerebral spinal fluid and the process of purification and the lunar connection to it. All of that is broken down. I don't want to. This is really. Is there any? Oh, and group. People can contact me for group. At D is in David, P is in Peter, H is in Harry, ARH@AOL.com. So I wanted to, so that's the housekeeping. That's the housekeeping. I wanted to give people some, and how, as, how apropos did Bliss just so happen to have a book right by her side? Of course, of course. Why would I not have one of Mantak Chia's books right here by my side? He's very well known. I think he's traveling less because he's really up in age now. He was in New York a few months ago.
Yes.
So, but the point that I'm making here is that the energy of the law of gender and its power and what it means to human salvation and redemption and the restoration of our magic is central. And I can't even put into words how important it is. What I want you to know, those of you that think that whatever your what in the world? Whatever your personal practice it is, that if you think that there's not a component that talks about this, actually it does. What happened? I don't know the day. I guess it would probably be. Well, there were two. There are several historical epochs where the energy, the practices of human evolution through the law of gender were suppressed, and this happens. This happened. The suppression of these technologies happened periodically, going way back into antiquity, to suppress our, this creative aspect of our divine nature. And from the perspective of alchemy, everything is imbued with Shakti. Everything that we touch, everything we do, that we should interact with it as an extension of ourselves. The more we seek to cooperate with those that we interact with, the more we evoke the energy of oneness into our lives, and that is the power of love. Love moves us from duality into the oneness. There is no duality there. But I'm getting ahead of what I wanted to share, because what I want to share, what the message for this evening really has to do with about our pleasure center and the distinction between illumination and pleasure, and something that, oh God, I cannot put into words, particularly for those, for our children. Where am I? Okay. There are cycles, there are historical cycles, and I won't make the astrological correlations because that'll just be cumbersome, but I'll just say Uranus, which rules over freedom, and Saturn, which rules over oppression, and other things. They have, those cycles have very much to do with how society experiences its divinity. And the historical cycles, when this energy has been repressed, like all things, it has had epochs where that energy has revolted and surfaced again. There's a there's an inner conflict within modern societies that has to do with our access to our divinity, this aspect of ourselves. And right now, because modern society has the tools of advertising, media, cell phones, these are tools that energy is being managed. And that's really the message that I want to talk about this evening, the distinction between that which is sacred, that you can identify the difference between that which is sacred and that which is profane, because they use the same instruments. The profane uses the same instruments that the sacred does, but the profane leads us into the abysmal, and the sacred expands consciousness. It restores the magic of humanity. It leads to illumination and liberation. So that's so I wanted to give a little historical reference without going into too much astrology, but the repression of two things. Well, many things are repressed, but the repression of our divinity and the manipulation, the control over our behavior and our activity on that level through the systems that we live through, education systems, judicial systems, have monitored and repressed our creativity, consciousness, and also substances that expand consciousness. Some of them have been distilled down into forms that they have polarized from the sacred into a toxic polarity, like cocaine. When you take that and distill it, the cocoa leaf, and make it cocaine, it's no longer sacred. What am I saying? Come on. Some cycles, some references that the Roaring Twenties. You have what I'm saying. You have these Saturnic cycles where human freedom and creativity is repressed, and then you always have a culture or subculture within the environment that rebels. And so historically, you can think of the Roaring Twenties. In the Roaring Twenties, it was dance and alcohol, because there was a period of time where alcohol was prohibited. And then in the 60s, it was sex, drugs, and rock and roll, free love, throw away your bra. For Black women, it was wonderful. We got to free our hair. we got to, and that was a revolutionary act. That was a revolutionary act, to wear your hair natural. I mean, for me to walk around like this in the 50s, and it created quite a stir in my family. I remember when I saw Miriam Makeba and her hair natural, and I wanted to, and I went and had all of my hair cut off, and my mother wasn't happy with me. Forgive me, Juanita Pharr. I know I was a difficult child, but that Uranian cycle of sex, drugs, and rock and roll. The 60s was very much a sexual revolution, coming out of that Saturnic cycle into a cycle of free love. And people that were born in the 40s and 50s that have Uranus and Cancers. They did all types of experiments with different type of family structure, communal living, polygamy, People explore different forms of religion, and now we're here. We're here, 2023. So if people are, I realize that I speak and teach in a spiral, but what I'm talking about, if you remember the starting point, what I'm talking about is sexual alchemy, your divinity, and your awareness of that within you, that you have a sense within it, that you can locate it within yourself, so that you know whether or not you are engaged, your engagement with that aspect of yourself is sacred or profane, and how the leadership, the leadership of society, at least in our memory, has manipulated and given instruction as to those energies, and that how that how that is integrated into society, and how that affects the lens of what we consider divine and how we experience ourselves. So all of the books that I mentioned are people that, for those of you who want to explore that, you should find an avenue of exploration that is congruent with your spiritual beliefs at this time. That's what I hope to have shared. That was my goal. So yin and yang in alchemy, or male and female, it extends, it creates the elements, it creates the anatomy in our body, it extends into the seasons. But I want to put that aside in a moment, because the message that I very much want to underline this evening is the message of our pleasure center in the brain, and how that is manipulated by the society in which we live, and how something that is unprecedented is occurring. The manipulation of the pleasure center in the brain, specifically dopamine. There's a tremendous amount of research in that area. Those of you that are interested to look further into that, you can look at, if you Google dopamine addiction, a lot of research is actively being done. We don't really know the outcome, the long-term outcome of a culture that manipulates brain chemistry in the way the society that we live in now, because it hasn't been in existence long enough for long-term 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 observation over decades. But this is the thing. What we release, the biochemical event that occurs on the lower level of our being, in our genitalia, doesn't make a distinction between pleasure that is sacred and pleasure that is profane. And what's happening right now in the world, this is the quote unquote message, is that the pleasure zone, the pleasure aspect of our being, is being manipulated to an extent that we don't, in the tree of life, we don't escape the astral. We don't escape the physical. We only identify with that aspect of our being. When we talk in terms of pleasure, sugar is pleasurable. Cocaine is pleasurable. Scrolling, the algorithms, You're muted. You're muted. And Ankh is muted. Everyone.
I was saying, but all of those are also addictions. Sugar is addictive, cocaine is addictive,
All that
sex can be addictive.
it is also so pornography, huge addiction. So how do so this is an example of there are horrible things that are going on in our society that are symptomatic of the repression of the creativity of the human spirit, including we procreate other human beings. Children are disappearing from our streets. Um, they grow up in an environment. Children should grow up in an environment of love and care. But we're asked to give our children over to an environment where their activity, their movement is restricted under harsh light, indoctrinated, and then we're expected as parents to advocate for the system and not for our children. We see their behavior, they're crying out in rebellion against it as poor behavior. So all of this has to do with the creative aspect of that which is divine within you, that which is most divine within you, that will lead you to illumination is who you are. Who you are, how does Shakti and Shiva come together in your heart through your truth? That is how you purify the waters of your body so that they arrive, they come back to the space in within the brain. I cannot think of the name of that part of the brain. There are 4 ventricles, the third ventricle in the brain that leads no synapses, that we are able to experience transcendence. And we need metrics. We need metrics to discern that which is sacred and that which is profane as we go through another cycle. We go through another cosmic cycle of longing to release that which is divine within us. The union within us is which this is the alchemy of sexuality. This is the alchemy of the purification of all levels of consciousness to create a space so that the prima materia in the base of the spine, it's also called the kundalini, can rise up and we experience our true nature. This is what I personally believe in the allegory, but I also believe that that the soul that was called the Christos was an actual incarnation also, and the Buddha and Zoroaster and those that spoke that came and gave templates for us as to how to navigate through this time. So the message of this evening is, how do you discern that which is sacred, which leads you more into divine, and that which is profane? The profane is addictive. It's as simple as that. The profane is addictive. The tools of the sacred, your body is sacred. Your act, your thoughts, everything about us is imbued with the creative energy that resides at the deepest level of life. Our longings, all of our longings that we experience, and I really want people to hear this more than anything else. The longing and Rising Sun, Rising Suns, your invocation, your opening prayer really are very aligned with the message this evening in terms of I am, the oneness within yourself and the longings that we experience to the outside world, all of this intention and all of that, when it resides in your own heart. It resides in your own heart. Love has no duality. There's no duality in it. When you're in love, is a biological, physiological, brainwave, hormonal event. Everything changes about you when you are truly in love, when you're in the zone. And I talk about this state. When I talk about restoring the magic of your humanity, it is that I speak, where you transcend, where you go beyond duality and you are so immersed with life that there is no other. There is no other. The line between the external world and the internal world disappears. You are with your beloved no matter what is going on in your environment, yielding that you become one with the ocean. This is the goal. This is the goal. So um, I wanted to bring to your attention, I wanted to ground you, the audience, into this space and time, how yin and yang, how the sexual alchemy is a daily part of our life and how important it is. It establishes our circadian rhythms, our relationship with dark and light, our hormones that tell our body what to do. Right now, we're at a place where we are yin deficient in general as a culture. Yin is the rest. We have become worshipers of activity, and activity needs the counterbalance. Every time I come here, it's the same message. I'm saying the same thing over and over again, but the space in between. And right now, it's November. We're going into the yin time of year, the time of year where darkness rules, kidney energy. Right now, we're in fall. We're in metal, lungs, and large intestines, grief, as we prepare to go deeper into the yin state. As if you're in the western part of the planet, the calendar, this grounding in this space and time. I'll start in October. October is the forecast. So I'm still talking about sexual energy because it's out of yin and yang that we get the seasons. The winter and the fall are yin, feminine, and the summer and the spring are yang, masculine. The interplay and our alignment with the rhythm of life, and is this is what culture is, living in alignment and harmony with that. So harvest time, Virgo. I'm born under the sign of the harvester. Harvest time is when you reflect upon the past year. We're getting ready to close a cycle. And this is an important cycle in terms of sexual energy, divine energy. And I'm talking about it beyond just this level, because to have access to that power, it has to be purified here. It has to be purified first in the sacrum and being true to yourself with the Svadhisthana, and in the heart. Rising Sun, you do a lot of hard work, and I love you for that. When you're in the community and you're just sharing and connecting people, that is hard work. But back to where we are, October, the energy. If you think about now, the energy that you are in right now, in the golden mean, will expand out in the sacred geometry, and you'll be under that energy for all of this year. So that's why October, people who work with the geometry, everything has a mathematical equivalent, refer to October as the forecast. So we're in November now. This is the time of divination. After you observe within October your harvest, what is the direction of the energy, what has happened in your life in the previous year, Now you go in and you seek guidance from the divine. This is the time. November is the time to do divination. And divination, that's a whole our understanding of divination. And divination is not forecasting. Divination is to tell us what is our rapport. What is our rapport in relationship to the cosmos? And what do we need to clean up? So December is when, and this is colored people alchemy. We didn't speak of it in these terms, but we understood it that, those of you that were raised in colored culture, you knew that December, right, was the time that your family began to clean and clear and get rid of anything that was not in alignment with where you wanted to go. Yes. And then you incubate, then you take in, then you go in, and then you're prepared to be in. And that's in that, during the deep yin time of the year, January and February, the deep yin time of the year is the incubation, is the womb of the year. You've cleansed, you've nested, you've made your home comfortable. If you're rising sun, you've ordered a lot of peanut butter. That you have to have those things. And this is the time of year to nurture, particularly the children. I wish I can impress upon you, for me, and there are others in the audience, what it felt like to be colored. I don't know what well, actually, if I want to take it there, I probably could, but my memory of being colored is such a central one. I grew up in the shadow of my parents' love. Profound love, the way, and the receipts are there. It's in the food. It was in the music. My girl, when a man loves a woman, I could, and I've said this many times, I could have never imagined as a young woman this war between the sexes that I'm observing now. It breaks my heart that there's a gender discord. This didn't evolve out of our community. This was an outward attack.
Exactly.
We have to stop falling for the game, and I won't go into the details of the history of it, that it's what the main thing I want people to realize is that your pleasure center, you have to make the distinction between that which is profane and that is sacred. Because that which is profane right now masks itself as the sacred. And you have to have a measuring stick. Measure your life. Is your magic increasing? Are you healthier? There's a measuring stick for the divine. Do you experience when you're having divine experiences with your internal balance of your energy? It's very discernible. Is there more synchronicity, right place and right time? Does energy flow through your life? Are you in harmony with your own being? Connection. This is of the utmost of importance. I think what I wanted to say. I'm looking at my notes. Oh, the most important part. The power. Why is what is the alchemy of love? Why is it so powerful? Because when we're talking about sexuality and what that feels like, what it feels like within your hormones, what it feels like in your body and your longing, and we all know that feeling with that's a biophysiological event. And that's an empirical event because it comes from the deepest level, as I said earlier, it comes from the deepest level of this plane, the beginning. And understand. And when I say beginning, origin, I'm not talking about a linear origin because life is eternal and circular. So this is the origin of your being, the origin of creation is eternal. I want people to understand that very clearly. When we talk about when alchemy talks about the origin, it is not talking about a linear beginning. It's talking about that which is at the deepest level of your being that we experience when we experience longing. How do you take that longing, that biophysiological event? How do you take it and purify the waters of the body so that illumination takes place? That is the power, that is love. That is when you are so immersed in life that there is no duality. This is the sexual alchemy that has been taken from us. It is that Yeshua wanted us to have. It is that restores your magic, the oneness. There is no duality in love. There is no, if I am vibrating to that, if I am aware of that, then I see you as an extension of myself. There is no separation. And there's a rhythm in culture, in the flow of life, that we separate into yin and yang and male, and male and female are going to be strongly drawn to unite back to the oneness from which they emerged. And we experience this longing. For everyone, it's different. Some of us are experiencing the longing in our bodies for better health. For some people, it's the Manipura chakra. If they want validation from the world, in Vishuddha level, to be seen, to be able to speak your truth, is how that same energy, to be able to have clarity and not be confused. When it comes here, this is why this is so important. When it comes here, in the tree of life, we are leaving the realm. We're going beyond the veil. We live in the realm of duality. Beyond the veil, the level of energy, what science calls the quantum field. When we can transcend that, and there is no separation, then the energy, the rhythm between separating into duality, which is creation, and the interplay of those forces, they come into the oneness. That happens here. It also happens here. The thymus also secretes hormones in the way the pineal. The pineal is not bilateral. Everything else in the brain is bilateral. The pineal is singular. So it is that. So the power of love. And again, alchemically, love is not emotion. It is not feeling. It has nothing to do with duality. That's a spell. That's a trap. And it comes under the same spell of, there are a lot of pleasurable spells. There are a lot of, it's pleasure is in culture. Pleasure is in African culture, your ori, your head. What are you here to do? People are under stress. And if you're under stress living your life, then you are not in harmony with that principle. You're not in harmony with the principle of gender. Your life is yanged out. And that becomes a physiological event. The hormones that you're releasing if you're in your sympathetic nervous system. And the same thing goes in, and we're very vulnerable to toxic pleasure when we're living like that. That will grab, that it's like, Kentucky Fried Chicken. you know, we're smelling all of these toxic things are very desirable, when we're yanged out, when there's no balance of the yin. I think I am done. In Alchemy Group, we're getting ready to do divination. because it's November, I invite people to, people can contact me for the basic practice, which is a codification of all of the system. All it draws from all of the systems to reach a place of yielding oneness.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Is I want to ask one question. When it comes to
please do.
when it comes to addictions and people are trying to get rid of those addictions, what do you suggest? Like, do you suggest meditation, fasting? Is there anything we can recommend to the family to start this journey?
Well, it depends on the nature of the addiction. For one thing, we are in an addictive culture. Everyone is addicted. That's the one thing that people are not in a state of liberation. If you find that you're emotionally triggered, if you have the same type of dynamics in your relationships, this is the society that we live in is a society that creates loops of behavior that will feed the energy of the society. So to seek illumination is to one, like any other type of addiction, to realize that you are trapped within your own consciousness and that that is not the truth of who you are. You want to begin to experience the intelligence beyond thought and mind. Those are very low. Those are very low on the tree of life, which is a design for of that. But if you are a functional person, if you're a reasonable, healthy person, you have to begin, not you have to, but it would be beneficial for you to be creative. If you are creative, rest, space in between your activities, listen to your intuition, experiencing the power of kindness, not having to be triggered and be drawn into every experience you have over the course of the day, and that find something that you can do on a daily basis that's going to change your mental chemistry, that you go into the zone flow state. That is where the healing, that's where transcendence happens. That's where neuroplasticity happens. Of course, there are people who have chemical addictions that need detoxification of the organs at the same time they need nourishment of the central nervous system to be able to be guided through that process. But the first big thing is to understand that the lens that we are seeing ancient systems through, we're an elderless society, you know, um, that it is, people no longer can tell the difference between good and evil. They literally cannot tell.
I agree.
They cannot tell, and we've become so addicted to the short. Pythagoras had to wait 20 years, or so the story goes, before he could enter into the mystery schools.
You know
You,
what I'm noticing, Diana?
you have something you want to add?
Yeah, I'm gonna. You can hear me, right? Y'all can hear me?
Yes.
I can
Yes.
hear. I can
Yeah,
hear.
I'm listening to you, and I fell back in my little comfortable chair, and I was feeling your energy while you're talking, and it feels really soothing. So I was enjoying just falling back and just feeling the as you taught me the word Shakti. I was
Yes.
feeling your Shakti flow.
Yes.
You know what
Yes.
I'm talking about, Bliss?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where it's almost like and I'm an advocate. I love music, so I'm just sitting back
Music is
and
an important part of alchemy.
yeah, and I'm listening to your voice. feeling your aura, messing around all these crystals. I'm half high all the time anyway, but I was just feeling your Shakti. That's why I was pulling up your face, and I'm gonna do it again. And you can fuss if you want, but y'all feel the face, feel the face.
Feel,
The
feel,
ethereal energy, the Shakti.
feel.
Feel the face, feel the face. Hit Bliss turn, feel the face, feel the face. All right,
Okay.
there it is. Yeah, because we get fed through our eyeballs.
Well,
Our eyeballs is our brain.
well,
So we
that's
can see beyond the physical and we can experience the ethereal through our eyeballs. So thanks for eyeballing, being patient for the eyeball soothing experience.
oh
You
my
know?
gosh.
Yeah. Amen. And y'all give me an amen. Yes, sir.
Namaste. Namaste. I bow to the divinity in you. So back to Alchemy Group. Alchemy Group, the donation for that. I always forget. I always remember Alchemy Group after I leave this platform. It's a donation of $28. This is a good time to come into Alchemy Group. The part of it is doctrine, and part of it is doing the energy work. The basic practice is, I receive that. The basic practice is definitely about clearing the energy centers to make a pathway for Kundalini to rise up, and that should precede kicking off the Kundalini energy. When we evoke that energy and we haven't cleared out the whatever center is correlates to the life circumstance, particularly in this incarnation. It's like I incarnated with a lot of most people the sacral chakra, the Svadhisthana, is the place that they're working out stuff, and it can be very cathartic and traumatic when think of when the heart opens up, or those of you that have fasted, that you can, if you've been on a toxic diet and you fast, that that you'll first not feel so good. It's not like you detoxify and then it's just all, for you go through a period of feeling like crap, and
It's like withdrawal.
it is withdrawal.
It's like withdrawal symptoms.
And to be able to get through that, and then you're on a higher frequency. Well, the same thing goes for consciousness. To get through the heart, when we get to the heart energy and the sacral energy, most of us have developed an alter personality that we do it so well we actually believe it's us. That's how good at, and everything in the society that we live in cooperates with the illusion.
Mm-hmm.
So when we go through the longing that is coming from the deepest level of life, that it is important that process in the realization of who you truly are in this space time is counterbalanced by what we call pleasure, because if that is not the case, then as a society, what this society encourages us to do is to just indulge in pleasure. They call children that are like snowflakes. Our tolerance for the process of maturation right now is very low. Rites of passage to be able to go through that process, and because everything around us, the technology, the phones, is constantly triggering us on a chemical level to experience that. So to be able to be still and be with the self and be with the heart is foreign. That stillness is foreign. So everything. So the heart, when the heart opens, and the heart has to open for us to see. For this to open, the heart has to open. Be mindful of people who profess to see and you don't feel love from them.
Thank
That
you, Diana. We're gonna wrap it up on that
absolutely.
song right there you just left.
Yes,
A lyric of the heart.
yes, a lyric
Thank you.
of heart. So people can contact me, people who want basic practice. I will send you the movements. You can contact for that in terms of the process. And this was wonderful. Namaste. I bow to the
Thank you.
divinity.
Namaste. All
Grateful.
right.
Thank you.
And well, I just want to put this in here real quick because this is what you did to me, and it made me think of this. I was like, doing an experiment, and I didn't know I was going to actually experience eyeball therapy. So I'm just going to put this up just so that you can see because you did this to the audience tonight. Y'all go ahead and put your testimony in the chat.
What am I looking at?
That was a noble gases that heals through the eyes.
Hmm. All right. I don't know if I quite understand
It's the eyeball therapy.
Oh, okay. All right. It's eyeball there. Okay. All righty. Now I understand. Now I understand.
Can y'all feel that? Can you feel it?
It's very beautiful. It's my eye is adjusting to understand. You know how where you need to adjust so that you can see what it is you're looking at. I'm doing that. Um, oh yes, yes.
Okay? Because that's what you was doing to us. You was doing eyeball therapy with your, and then you was doing auditory therapy. So I enjoyed this, and I gotta give a special acknowledgement to you, Miss Bliss. Your Capricorn Shakti was very helpful in creating this tapestry of this show tonight, Diana. Miss Bliss, I'll be riding my bike and I'll be asking Miss Bliss, "Oh, how we gonna do this and how we gonna do that?" And then she'd be like, "All right, Junior, this is how we gonna do it." So I just want to say thank you, Bliss, and I want to thank you, Diana, for a
You're welcome. You're
magical
welcome.
show and audience.
Come,
Uh, push the like button,
come and
like,
join us.
subscribe, and
Come
share.
join us
And I want to thank you, Diana. What you saying, Diana? What you
I'm
saying?
saying, I'm saying join us for group, and so that you can, divination is not a forecast. It's to really know where you are on the tree of life. Where are you truly? Where's your consciousness in relationship to reuniting with the oneness that you have emerged? That's what divination is. And what do you need to do so that you can experience that divine union? So November is the time to do that. So
Thank you,
people
Diana.
can join us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Good night.
All right. Night, night, y'all.
Good night, guys.
I'm trying to exit.